Hey guys, welcome back to this series on C programming. In this video, we will be learning about variables. More specifically, we will learn how to create variables and store data in them so that we can use them later in our program. So let's get started. In computer programming, a variable is a name given to a memory location inside our computer where we can store data. Let me give you an example. I will go to my compiler. Here you can see int is. Here the name of the variable is, and to create this variable we use this keyword int. This int keyword is a data type which indicates that the is variable can only store integer values. In C programming, every variable must have a type like this, int. We will learn about these data types in detail in next video, and in this video we will continue using int to create our variables. Once we create a variable like this, int is, we can also store data into it like is equals to 25. Here we have first created a variable named is, and then we have assigned an integer value 25 to this is variable. By the way, we have to use this semicolon at the end to mark the end of this statement, and it is also possible to create variable and assign value in a single line. Let me show you how. So instead of writing these two lines of code, we can just merge them and write a single line of code like this. So I'll cut this out. If you have watched the last video, we have used a structure that every C program follows. I'll get back to my compiler. If you remember, this is the basic structure of C program. So now let's add a variable inside this main function. Int is equals to 25. If we run this code, a variable is created but will not see any output, and to get output in C programming, we will use printf function. Before we print this variable, let's first try to print a normal text. Then in the next step, we will learn to print variables. Now to print a line of text, we use the printf function. Printf bracket inside quotation C programming. And we will always end this statement with a semicolon. Now let me run this code, and we can see C programming is printed on the screen. By the way, our variable is also created, but we haven't seen it because we haven't printed it. Now let's print our variable. I just want to print a variable, so I'll cut this part that prints a line of text. Then I'll write printf bracket inside quotation %d, comma, and the name of the variable. In this case, the name of the variable is. To print a variable in C programming, we use something called format specifier. Here, %d is a format specifier. Now let's run this code. As we can see, 25 is printed as an output. So what happens here is that here %d is replaced by the value of is variable. If we have to print other data like characters and decimals, we use different specifier like %c and %f, which we will discuss in the next video. Let me modify this program a bit. Here I'll write here is colon. Now let me run this code again. Now we can see this is colon is printed as it is, and %d is replaced with the value of is. Now that we know how to store data in variables, let's see how we can change their values. Yes, we can change the values of variable. That's why it is called variable. Let me give you an example. I'll go back to my previous example. Currently, the is variable stores 25. Now I'll assign a new value to this is variable, is equals to 31. And I'll print this. New is semicolon %d and comma, and again is, and end this with semicolon. Let's run this program. As you can see, initially the value of is was 25. Then I changed the value of is by assigning 31. Now let me put this second line of code into a new line. For that, I'll use \n, and I'll run this again, and you can see the output. It is more readable and more clearer. So here this \n is a new line character. Simply speaking, it is an enter key. So far, we saw that we can assign data directly to a variable. However, we can also assign a value of one variable to another. Let me show you an example. In this example, as you can see, we have assigned value 33 to this first number variable, and we have then printed this first number variable. Now I'll assign another variable, second number, and instead of assigning any data, I'll assign here first number. Then I'll print this \n so that we can get a readable output. Second number equals to %d and name of the variable, that is second number. Now let's see what will happen. I'll run this code and we can see first number and second number variable holds the same value 33. Let's see how this program works line by line. First, we have created this variable first number and assigned value 33 to it. Then we have printed this variable, and then we assigned another variable second number and assigned the value of the first number to it. Then we have printed the second number. We can also declare multiple variables in a single line. Let me give you an example. Here I have created two variables, variable 1 and variable 2, and I have separated them with a comma in a single line. Let me modify this program a bit. I'll assign a value 25 to this variable 2. Here the same two variables are created, however the value of variable 2 is now 25. By the way, in C programming, if we do not assign a value to a variable, its value cannot be determined. In this program, variable 1 will have some random unpredictable value. However, some compilers may store 0 in them. Okay guys, we need your support to keep this type of content free for all users. YouTube really likes engagement on the video, so leave a comment below, press that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get the engagement score high up so that more people can discover and enjoy these courses. At this point, we have covered all the basics of variable. Before ending this video, let's talk about how to choose a good variable name. If you have noticed, I have used descriptive variable names like age and first number. We could have given variable names like a instead of age and fn instead of first number. It works just fine. However, it's hard to understand what a means just by looking at the code. So when we use good descriptive variable names, it becomes easier to understand the code. And to make the variable name descriptive, we may need to use names having more than one word. In such cases, we follow the camel case format while giving the names to the variable. In camel case, the first word will be of small letter and the first letter of the second word will be of capital letter, like the example shown on the screen. By the way, there are some rules you need to know while creating a variable. You cannot create variable names with space in between. You cannot start variable names with numbers, and you cannot use certain words as variable names. You cannot use if as a variable name because if is a keyword. These keywords are part of C programming syntax and have special meaning in C. We will learn about these keywords as we progress through the course. And now we are at the end of this video. It's time for Programiz quiz. Can you guess the output of this program? Comment your answer below and I'll see you in the next video. Happy programming!